The Galaxy M series is Samsung's attempt at taking over the reins from Xiaomi when it comes to the budget smartphone segment, with the M20 being the flag bearer of this attempt. So does the Galaxy M20 succeed, or is it a failed attempt? Let's find out. Hey guys, I'm Akshay from bbomb.com and this is our review of the Galaxy M20, where I'll tell you whether you should buy the Galaxy M20 or wait for the Redmi Note 7. But before I start, let me tell you that this video has been sponsored by Bank Bazaar, which is your one-stop solution for all your banking needs, including credit cards and more. I'll talk more about Bank Bazaar at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Now then, let's take a look at the Galaxy M20. Okay, so this here is the Galaxy M20, which I have been using for almost a week now. Now, I haven't had a great experience with Samsung's budget phones in the past, be it the J series or the On series or any other series, but honestly I was excited to use the M20, since it has been hyped to be the Samsung budget phone that can truly take on the competition. Well, after using it for a while now, I can tell you that the M20 is definitely a better attempt at budget phones by Samsung, but can it take on the competition? Well, it's a little complicated, so let me tell you about my experience with the phone by starting off with the design. Okay, so the design on the Galaxy M20 is great. It's not great when it comes to the looks. I mean, I would prefer the Redmi Note 7's premium glass design any day over the M20's bland glossy plastic design, but it's great because it's functional. The M20 has you covered on all fronts. You get the headphone jack, dedicated slots for SIM and microSD cards, and a USB-C port, which is still rare in this price range. It's not all great though. The fingerprint scanner is a little annoying. First of all, it's placed awkwardly and I'm still getting used to it. Secondly, it's inconsistent. There's no haptic feedback here and sometimes it's pretty fast, but sometimes it only detects my fingers on multiple attempts. Yes, it's a mixed bag. I also don't like the fact that there's no notification LED here. I mean, I understand it's a limitation of the teardrop notch design, but Samsung could have implemented it on the bottom chin like the Redmi Note 7. Anyway, the teardrop notch design, aka Samsung's Infinity V design, might have brought this limitation, but it certainly looks beautiful. Ignore the bland back of the M20 and you will enjoy a beautiful looking smartphone. The modern looking front and the beautiful display look great. I know it's a TFT display and there's this perception that TFT displays aren't good when compared to IPS LCDs. But trust me when I say that the display on the M20 is great. It's vibrant, the viewing angles are great, and while it's not the brightest display I've used, it's decent enough outdoors. So yeah, Samsung has done a good job with the display on the M20 and overall the design is fine too, but the average fingerprint scanner is a problem for sure. Anyway, the design and display is something I was positive about on the M20. My doubts were always on the performance, and well, the Exynos 7904 with 4 gigs of RAM on the M20 has been a mixed bag. I mean, I'm sure you already know the benchmarks on the M20 do not match up to the Snapdragon 660 or the Snapdragon 636. But let's talk about the real world performance. So the phone has been fine and smooth when it comes to usual day-to-day tasks, but I did notice some lag when I had multiple apps open or a heavy game like PUBG open in the background. It's not too bad to be honest, but yeah, I would have liked a more lag-free experience. When it comes to gaming, a lot of you guys have asked us about PUBG on the Galaxy M20. Well, by default PUBG runs on medium graphics settings, but the experience on medium is definitely not very good. There are a lot of frame drops, stutter, and it's not really playable. Things are better when graphics are set to low. I mean, it's definitely playable on low graphics settings, but it's not the smoothest experience. I also played Asphalt 9 where the graphics are automatically set to low and the gameplay was good enough. Yes, there was some occasional stutter, but it wasn't a huge problem. Also, if you're wondering about any heating issues, the phone did get warm for me, but it wasn't really overheating. Overall, the performance on the Galaxy M20 is just average, and honestly as compared to the Redmi Note 7 and the Zenfone Max Pro M2, both of which have the more powerful Snapdragon 660, the Galaxy M20 just fails to match up. And it doesn't help that Experience UI 9.5, which is supposed to be more optimized, has its issues as well. First of all, it's Android Oreo, which is disappointing. Secondly, there's the ads. Yes, the Experience UI here has its own version of ads. Firstly, there's lock screen stories, which shows you a new story on the lock screen, and these are a few stories that it shows. These stories are basically promotional photos for different companies. These are ads. Now you can disable this feature, but it's really annoying. There's also the ads from the My Galaxy app. so I have never opened the My Galaxy app and I've got clickbaity and promotional notifications like these. I really wasn't expecting this when I started using the phone, and that has left me really disappointed. Now this is the reason I prefer stock Android over any other UI. I mean, credit where it's due, the Experience UI here has some great features like the decently fast face unlock, navigation gestures from One UI, and I like that it lets you choose if you want certain apps to be pre-installed or not. But yeah, the sluggish performance and the ads in the UI don't make a great case for the Galaxy M20. Moving on to the cameras now, the Galaxy M20 has dual cameras on the back with the secondary sensor being a pretty cool wide angle sensor, so that's nice. Anyway, here are some photos on the phone. Now as you can see, the photos aren't mind-blowing, but they definitely look decent. The colors are nice, the details are good enough, and yes, some photos have white balance issues, but it's generally decent in good light. When it comes to low light, like every other budget phone, the M20 is a mixed bag. Now the f1.9 aperture does manage to capture photos with decent light, and some photos are okay, but most low light photos have low detail with some noise. So yeah, it's definitely average. I also took a few shots from the wide angle lens, and while the quality in wide angle photos isn't very good, it results in some really cool shots, so it's definitely good to have. The M20 also has the live focus mode, aka the portrait mode, and it works decently. Most portrait mode photos look good with some nice colors, but some shots do not have the best edge detection. For example, take a look at this shot. Let's just zoom in and you will see what I'm talking about. Overall, it's nice, but there's one problem, and it's the fact that it only works on faces, and it does not work even when someone is looking away. So Sharun was trying to do a different pose this time, and well, the live focus mode just did not work. It's sad, really. Anyway, compared to the Zenfone Max Pro M2 and the Redmi Note 7, you can see that the Galaxy M20 does manage to be the Max Pro M2 on most occasions, but in almost every comparison, the Redmi Note 7 photos are just way better, be it in good light, low light, or even portrait mode. Moving on to videos, the Galaxy M20 only supports 1080p at 30fps videos, and well, here's a video shot from the phone. Now the video looks okayish and it's just a little overexposed. Plus I have noticed that M20's autofocus does not work too well in videos, and the white balance issues are present here as well. There's no EIS or OIS either, which means videos aren't the most stable. Let me show you a comparison with the Redmi Note 7. Well, it's clear here that the Redmi Note 7 beats the Galaxy M20 on the videos front as well. The Redmi Note 7 video has more detail, it looks better, and it's more stable. Overall, the Galaxy M20 definitely has decent cameras for a budget phone. I mean, it's not extraordinary, but it does manage to beat the Zenfone Max Pro M2 in a lot of scenarios, which is saying something since the Zenfone Max Pro M2 is one of the best budget phones out there. Having said that, you've seen how it fares against the Redmi Note 7. The M20's cameras are just no match for the Redmi Note 7. Anyway, let's talk about the selfie camera on the Galaxy M20. Now, I wasn't really expecting much from the 8MP camera, and well, I was right in not expecting much because as you can see, the selfies are pretty average. The selfies lack detail, the colors are off, it's just not very good. I'm sure you would have noticed that I have mixed feelings about everything in the Galaxy M20. But if there's one thing that outright impressed me, it's the battery on this phone. The M20's massive 5000 mAh battery lasts long. Generally, starting the day at 100%, the phone would be around 40 to 50 by the end of the day, and on most days, I do use my phone extensively. My usage includes Google Maps, some music via Bluetooth, a few games of PUBG, usual web browsing, social media, camera usage, etc. So I like the fact that usually the M20 easily went to the second day. Plus the M20 charges fairly quickly. The phone has a 15-watt fast charge in the box that charges the Galaxy M20 from 10 to 100% in just 1 hour 50 minutes. It's really great because it's a 5000 mAh battery we are talking about. The Max Pro M2, which also has a 5000 mAh battery, takes 3 hours to fully charge. So the M20 is definitely amazing on this front. Lastly, let's talk about the connectivity, where again the Galaxy M20 is a mixed bag. So the Galaxy M20 has dual 4G VoLTE support and it has the Widevine L1 license, so HD videos on apps like Netflix and Prime Video shouldn't be a problem. However, the problem is that the Galaxy M20 does not have support for 5 GHz Wi-Fi. I know the Max Pro M2 too does not have it, and I know it's not a big deal in India, but honestly it's something I expect from every phone. Anyway, a lot of you have also asked us about the sensors on this phone since Samsung has skipped some in the past. Well, I'm glad to tell you that the M20 does not skip on any of the major sensors. It has the ambient light sensor, the proximity sensor, gyroscope and the accelerometer, so the M20 has things covered. Well, I guess we have pretty much answered all of your questions, so let's move on to our verdict. Should you buy the Galaxy M20? Well, honestly, this is a phone that I really wanted to like because Samsung has actually made quite an effort in the budget smartphone segment. However, after using the Galaxy M20, I believe Samsung still has a long way to go before it can compete with the likes of Xiaomi or Asus. Look, the Galaxy M20 has decent cameras, the design is practical, the battery and charging is super impressive, but its inconsistent performance just does not match up against the competition. Plus, the Experience UI issues and the average fingerprint scanner make it hard for me to recommend the Galaxy M20. So if you're looking to buy a budget phone right now, the Zenfone Max Pro M2, which is a great all-around smartphone even though it does not have the best cameras, is the option to go for. And if you're in no hurry to buy a phone, I'd suggest you to wait for the Redmi Note 7 because the Xiaomi phone is just way better than the M20 in almost every aspect. Well, whether you're planning on buying the M20 or some other smartphone, Bank Bazaar can make buying it with a credit card a lot easier. Well, you just download their app, fill up some details like your contact information, if you have any existing credit cards, etc. And then Bank Bazaar shows a bunch of cards you can choose from. You can pick whichever one you like and apply for one with zero paperwork, and that's it. Within 30 minutes, you'll get an approval. That's simple. So what are you waiting for? Download the Bank Bazaar app right now from the link in the description below. Well, that was our review of the Galaxy M20. If you still have any doubts, you can just comment down below and we'll be responding to those comments for the first hour once the video goes live. Also, give this video a like if you liked it and share it with your friends who are confused about the Galaxy M20. Lastly, subscribe to our channel for more amazing tech videos. Well, that's me signing off. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.